What a fantastic spot. It's absolutely amazing.
Hi my friends, nice to see you. You know, it's not always so easy to find a composition, and this could have more reasons. It could be that we feel uninspired or that we don't have our photography head on or something like this. I made already a video about that, I think it was 2 weeks ago, so if you haven't seen I will link you above. But that's not the case today. I really feel well, I feel comfortable, and I think I could get inspired, and I think I were able to get a really great photograph. But sometimes we are at a spot where it's absolutely amazing. It's such a beautiful spot and we feel well, we feel inspired. But anyway, we don't find the composition. And this is what I want to try today. Some days ago I was here with my wife just for a hike. I didn't have a camera with me. I just had my phone with me, and there was a beautiful place. Absolutely fantastic. And the thing is, I didn't get a composition. Obviously, I didn't spend all too much time to find a composition, to be honest. But anyway, it's a really difficult spot. And what I found out is it can massively improve your photography when you go back to a spot where you really struggled with finding a composition and think about why is it so difficult to find a composition, and try to get out the best possible photograph you're able to. And this is what I'm doing here today. I'm hiking to the spot I've been already, and let's see what I can get today. So let's go.
Hold me in your arms and don't let go. Stay beside my heart and let me know. 'Cause I need you, every tear. Wipe it away, wipe it away. Hold me in your arms, never let go. I have found a place where I am free. There's no other place I'd rather be.
So I'm here now at the spot, and it's absolutely amazing. You have to be careful here, it's a little bit slippery. It rained the last days, so... But it's absolutely amazing. I'm here in a canyon now, so I'm really inspired here, and it's such a beautiful place. I'm blown away from this location. But what's so difficult here to find a composition? Now, when we have a look around, all these patterns and lines here on the rocks, and all the mosses here on the trees, also on the rocks back there, and also here, it's really fantastic. And as already mentioned, I was here for a hike with my wife. We walked down here, these stairs, and we were also standing here on this bridge where I'm currently standing, and we just watched down there, and I said, it's so beautiful here. My wife also meant that it's really amazing here, and then she asked me, why did you never try to take a photograph here? And this was a really interesting question. And I said to her, there is no composition. And the thing is, I've never tried to find a composition here, because yeah, it was obviously for me that I'm not able to find here anything. And the question is why? When you look around here, it's not really possible to go down there. It were possible to climb down there some positions, but the water is too deep. It's not possible to walk there, also not with the weight trousers. So it's not easy to find a composition here. I think that area back there with these waterfalls back there looks really fantastic. And when the water were not so deep as it is, I think I would go down there and try for it. Flying a drone is also not really a possibility. I don't really like this to do in the canyon because we don't have a really great GPS signal here, so it's really dangerous, and also we have to go really close to the water, and usually waterfall photography always means to have a cloth with you and you have to clean your lens all few seconds, so it doesn't really make sense to try it with the drone. And now I thought it were really a great idea to come back here today and think about why isn't it so easy to find a composition from this limitation I have here. And it is a limitation because I'm not able to go everywhere. And I think this is also a thing what beginners often do. They go anywhere, they find anything interesting and try to take a photograph from the position where they are. And usually this doesn't really work. And this is also one of the things, what's the difference between a really good photographer and a beginner, because the good photographer walks around the subjects and has a look from different perspectives and so on, and the beginner usually doesn't. And when I'm here on this bridge here now, to be honest, I feel like a beginner again, because I don't have all these possibilities to go everywhere I want. And the goal here today is to find anyway a composition, to find the best possible composition. And I think in such a case like this, it's really important to think about what are the relevant elements of my composition or of this spot, so that I can get an idea which elements have I to put into my photograph, because it will not work to get everything into my frame. When I try to make a wide vista back there, it would end up in a vertical line what leads up there, and up there is nothing, so it doesn't really make sense, to be honest. So I thought about picking out any details or to simplify the scenery, and this is what I want to try now, and this will definitely not be easy. And I also think that it maybe will not be I'm absolutely sure it will get not a masterpiece, because there are so many distracting things. And now the most important thing is to think about what are the things what define this spot. And I think when we have a look around, all these patterns and lines here in the rocks and all the mosses and so on, these are the things what defines this spot, and also the water as well. And so the goal were here now to find a composition with the lines and patterns of the rocks, with the mosses everywhere, and maybe also some ferns or something like this, I'm not sure about. So I will have a look now and let's see what I can get.
I have found a place where I am free. There's no other place I'd rather be. 'Cause I want you drawing me near, closer again, closer again.
Such a gorgeous place. It's absolutely amazing. And I really found the composition here. It's absolutely incredible. I did what I said before. I tried to concentrate on the main things here, the main components, and these are obviously these lines, these strong lines here in all these rocks here, in the mosses here, and I also were able to put some ferns into my composition, and I really looked around, and this side doesn't attract me all too much, to be honest. Maybe because of these horizontal tree trunks down there, and it's also not really balanced here, and we have also lots of branches down here, and I'm more attracted to this side. And I also find that these fantastic lines here in the rocks look really pretty good here on this side. I try to get water into my frame, but I want to cut it so that it gets more simple and that I don't have one straight line back there. I want to have only a tiny bit of water, and when I look down here, it looks really fantastic. So we have these fantastic lines here leading into our frame. We have the water here as our point of interest in this case. We have also these strong lines here down from the rocks. And we have also these trees here. I know they are really verticals here in our composition. And usually you would try to put them more vertical into your frame, but I think in this case it looks really pretty good when we put them as diagonals from the right corner into our frame. This looks really pretty good. And also these ferns down there really adds to the composition. We have also this fantastic color contrast between all these browns and reds and these greens, these really lush greens here. It's really fantastic. The only problem here, as already mentioned, there is really lots going on here and I'm not able to go everywhere I want. So I have to go with my camera here. And as you have seen already, maybe I don't have my camera in my setup, and this has a reason. And the problem therefore is that my best possible camera position here, or that my best camera position for this composition is a little bit above this railing, so I can't really put a tripod here because it's too high here and I can't put it over. So what I will do is I have to shoot it freehand. I know it's much more easy to work with a tripod because you can fine-tune your composition and go away, think about it, recompose it a little bit and such things. But when you do this freehand, of course you are more flexible, but in the other hand it's much more difficult to fine-tune your composition and get out a really great photograph. I wanted to say let's make the click here now, but obviously I have to rebuild my composition here, what I found already, and so let's do this now. So let's go. I hope you're able to see me here. As already mentioned, I will not use a tripod. I will shoot freehand, so I will pull up my ISO, and I have also a circular polarizer on my lens because I want to get rid of the glare down there everywhere. As already mentioned, it rained the last days, it also rained before, so I know this also will take around 1.5 stops, but I think it's better to go up with the ISO and use the polarizer because I don't have a problem with a little bit of noise in my photograph, but I would have a problem with the glare everywhere here in the landscape. So I will build up my composition here again, and I fear that it will take a little bit, but let's try. So let's make the click.
Cause I want you drawing me near, closer again, closer again. I have found a place where I am free. Someday all the time
So I'm here now at the next spot, and we spotted it also at the same hiking tour a few days ago. We were hiking up there, and I'm always someone who looks down, how does it look down there and so on. And we have the same kind of rocks here as we had behind there. So we have these fantastic lines everywhere. And what I forgot to mention before is this canyon what we've seen before there. It isn't all too long, so it's only as long as you have seen there. So there was really no possibility to get down. But here I had the possibility, and it looks really pretty good. Look at all these lines here. These are absolutely amazing. And the really tricky thing at a spot like that is that all these lines lead anywhere. So when there's nothing back there, what's really interesting, this could get a problem. And I've been already here, and I thought already to maybe find a composition here. I didn't try, to be honest. Yeah, when I'm here with my wife, or when I'm out with my wife for a hike, I don't spend all too much time to find a composition, to be honest, because I'm out for hiking there and I want to spend quality time with my wife. I think it's important not always to think photographical, also just to enjoy the nature and also with people you love. And as already mentioned, I've already been here, and I'm not sure, but this place here, this rough composition here, I found already without searching for it. So what I really love is here we have these amazing lines leading us into our frame, and we get these diagonals from the right top also into our frame, so we get this fantastic flow in this curve, and we get a kind of S-curve back there, and this is really pretty good. This is exactly that kind of photograph what I love most, I think, in vista photography. And the only problem is, so back there is not really anything of interest. There is no compelling subject, there is no mountain back there or something like this. So I think the only way to get a really great photograph here is by the conditions. So if we had massively fog back there, so we had this view into the fog, into the mystic fog where we don't know what's back there, so it could add any feeling of fear and mystic and such things. And I think this could really add to a composition like this. I anyway want to try to take the photograph today, but as already mentioned, the conditions are not right, so it's a test shot only. But however, it's really fantastic here. I really love this place, and I'm absolutely sure I will come back here, although it's not so easy to get fog here, to be honest, because in this area here usually is no fog. It's always a little bit windy, and when you have too much wind there can't build fog. But however, if we should have amazing fog in future, I will think about this spot. It's not all too far from me. From the technical side, I'm very close to my foreground, so I close my aperture. I always try to use the best possible aperture. This means not too open, not too closed, but when I'm really close to my foreground, it's obviously necessary that I close it as much as possible. The more you close it, the more diffraction you get. So, but however, I want to get a sharp photograph from the foreground to the distance. I don't want to focus decal too much. I mentioned this already in one of my videos. I'm not so happy because it looks too sharp in the foreground and it looks unnatural for me. I use a circular polarizer here because we have lots of glare here in the water, and I screwed it as much that I have a little bit of glare in this area here, so where we go through our S-curve. This is really fantastic because it draws our eyes back there. Such a calm place. It's absolutely fantastic. I also love these noises from the water. So lovely. So let's make the click.
Cause I want you drawing me near, closer.
So it's the same day and I'm at the same brook. It's a little bit more in that direction, you can't see it in the moment. And I've been back to my car meanwhile, because yeah, as you can see, no, you can't see here. As you can see here, I have my weight trousers with me and this means I plan to go into the water. So there's no possibility to go into the water at the canyon, but I'm a little bit more upwards now. I think around 6 kilometers more upwards. And it wasn't part of our hike a few days ago, but I know that there's a waterfall. And the interesting thing is, I never tried to get a photograph there. I know about this waterfall already for many years. I'm often up here. It's a really great area for cross-country skiing in winter, and it's really interesting. There's a bridge over the brook right beside the waterfall, but in winter everything is closed there, so you don't have a view down to the waterfall. So I never saw it in winter. I just knew that there's a waterfall down there. I'm not sure why I never tried. And I never heard that this were a great waterfall from anyone else. So however, I will go there now and let's see if it's possible to get the composition there. So let's go.
Hold me in your arms and don't let go. Stay beside my heart and let me know. 'Cause I need you. Every tear, wipe it away, wipe it away. Hold me in your arms, never let go. Every time I close my eyes, I only see your face. All I ever wanted to be with you in this place.
So I'm already at the waterfall, as you can hear maybe. I hope you can understand me. It's so loud here, it's absolutely amazing. And before I show you the waterfall, you see the bridge up there. And when you come with the cross-country skis from this side, you drive over and you can't look over the railing, so you only hear something. And I think I have already seen the top of the waterfall back there. It's really a fantastic one. But I never tried to go down here, and I'm really not sure why. It's really a beautiful waterfall. What I'm really happy about is that we have this tree trunk back there with these warm tones, so it emphasizes composition a little bit. It's an absolutely amazing spot, and I'm not sure why I haven't come already before here. I think it's really because of this odd bridge up there. Maybe I thought it must be awful when they have closed it from up there. I'm not sure about it. But however, I found a really great composition. I'm set up here with my camera and I'm really blown away. We have these cascades here in the foreground. So it's an amazing spot, and to be honest, I'm not really happy that they built a bridge exactly there. It was amazing if we had the possibility to photograph straight there with all these cascades in the foreground and the big waterfall in the background there. But yeah, it is how it is. So let me show you my composition. And we have really to be careful here because it's really slippery. So we have this amazing little water step here in the foreground, and also this rock and these mosses here, absolutely fantastic. And I love these lines here from the waterfall. It leads us into our frame and it leads us back there to our waterfall. It's far away because I use a really short focal length, But it doesn't matter. My subject here is more this small waterfall in the foreground. I love this storytelling here because it tells the story about the water coming down there, the mountain, floating down here and out of our frame. It's really fantastic. I have a circular polarizer on. We are here in the shadow, but I mentioned this already so many times. Doesn't matter, you always have light from all directions, and so it takes a reflection from the surface, and this really adds to this composition here. So I put you a little bit more back there that I have two hands, because as you see I have this close here, because we are really close here to the waterfall and we get lots of drops up on the lens. So only within a few seconds everything is wet up here, and I want to avoid this. So let's make the click.
Every time I close my eyes, I only see your face.
What a fantastic spot. It's absolutely amazing.
I found one more composition and I came a little bit closer now and got a little longer focal length. Before we were more in that direction, and now I climbed here. It's really absolutely slippery here, and my setup is here, and it's also really dangerous here for the camera, to be honest, because I think there is a drop down, maybe 2 meters or something like this, and when the camera drops down it definitely will be gone, and I also don't want to drop down there so I have to be careful. And I found a composition here now. I'm blown away by the water was crashing down there in the distance, and it makes a fantastic curve here. And I always find it interesting to use the water lines as leading elements, and this is what I want to do here. I want to use the water to lead us into the frame, back there to our waterfall. I have the rocks here at the right, and this is a really important thing here for this composition, because the photograph would get unbalanced when we don't have anything at the left side then. So I'm really happy that we have this tree back there. As already mentioned before, it draws our eyes. It's a really fantastic position. This warmth, this saturation, it's really amazing. And it's really a great balance to our rocks at the right. So I also have a circular polarizer here on. You know, I always want to have a little bit of structure in the water, and this is why I've gone up a little bit with the ISO, that we get these fantastic lines in the water. So let's make the click. Where's my remote release? Here is it. And here we go. So as you see, it's always a good idea to go back to places also when you think there is no composition possible. It's really amazing. I really didn't expect to find a working composition almost at the first spot. I didn't think there's really anything possible. I thought maybe a more intimate landscape shot with a longer focal length, and I also didn't use a really long focal length when I think about it. So it's really a great idea to go back to the places where you think there is no composition possible. You will be rewarded. Go back there without any expectations, have a look at it, think at it, take time for it. Think about how can you build up your composition. And sometimes you get a photograph, sometimes it doesn't work. However, go back again. So I really enjoyed this day. I hope you also enjoyed this video. If yes, please give me a thumb up. share this video with your friends, maybe on Instagram, Facebook, wherever. I will really happy about it. Will help me to grow this channel, and I'm absolutely sure also the people you will share the video with will also be really happy about. Subscribe to this channel if you didn't have already. So thank you so much for watching. See you next Saturday. Thank you. Bye.